Continuing from the previous episode 2305. Boom boom boom. Xie Ji's white bone arm was blessed on his body. Qingfeng Mingxi took off the black robe that was on his body, and then a gloomy and withered gloomy body emerged. Today's Qingfeng Mingxi may no longer be called a human. There are blood-colored folds on his face, and the scarlet evil lines on his skin are particularly shocking. The evil power contained in it may already be the same as that of the foreign evil race. Where? And a little bit human. Not enough anger. What's going on? The poisonous woman in the distance drooped her brows, and then she wondered. Judging from her perception, the Qingfeng Mingxi in front of him was full of sickness and weakness. There is something terrifying faintly in his body. Jade Blood Hand. Qingfeng Mingxi, who was equipped with evil tools, roared like a beast that only knew how to kill. The wind attribute power and humanity in the whole person seemed to have disappeared completely. The corners of his mouth were sarcastic, and traces of *** evil spirits kept falling out. The next moment, one of his arms suddenly burst into deep blood, and drops of blood like jade droplets lingered around the arm. Humph! Saint Flame Kaiyi. When Xiaoyan saw this, layers of glazed flames began to churn around his body, and after a while, a gorgeous flame armor covered Xiaoyan's body. Die! Looking at the gorgeous holy flames on Xiaoyan's body, Qingfeng Mingxi raised his palm, and Shui's palm instantly pressed against Xiaoyan's place. Tear it off! The dark void in the hall was hummed by its shock, and a ** scarlet beam that was extremely evil came out. Dragon Claw! The blue dragon's roar was transmitted from Xiaoyan's body, and the void suddenly trembled, and the blood jade-colored arm and the blue-colored arm were instantly intertwined. Wong buzzing! A harsh, high-pitched voice sounded, but Qingfeng Mingxi's face turned pale after being struck by Xiaoyan. Good evil wave! The blow failed, and the two of them each took a step back. Suddenly, Xiaoyan's arm trembled slightly. This attack of Dragon God Claw and Qingfeng Mingxi is actually evenly matched. Mushi summons. At this moment, Qingfeng Mingxi finally realized the importance of the matter. His palms kept rolling, and with the blessing of the jade blood arm, wisps of evil handprints continued to emerge, but they just emerged, but they outlined countless evil lines in the void, as if summoning some evil ancient creature. Shush! After the blink of an eye, the ground of the main hall suddenly softened, and black flames gushed out from under the ground. That's the magic of evil. This guy wants to summon evil creatures. Poison art. Crash! In the distance, the poisonous woman opened her mouth in a stern voice, and suddenly the 6 chains hummed, and a green mist actually slowly spit out of her mouth, and shot directly at Qingfeng Mingxi with the momentum of thunder. The ground of the main hall suddenly cracked open one after another, and it suddenly collapsed slightly like a quagmire and swamp. In the gaps in the collapsed ground, scarlet bubbles continued to emerge from it, and the fluctuations contained in it made the scalp numb. If this guy summons the mysterious evil creature, it will inevitably be a fierce battle. Crack! The green mist just filled the air, and the void in the entire hall suddenly became distorted. It seemed that this poisonous mist could easily corrode the void. At the same time, the poisonous mist slowly wrapped around Qingfeng Mingxi's body. Although he could not kill him completely, it controlled the latter's actions with a little influence. The fingerprints closed, and the creatures under the ground in Qingfeng Mingxi's movements were controlled. Connections seemed to be cut off in general. Asshole! The summoning ceremony was blocked by the poisonous mist of the poisonous woman. Qingfeng Mingxi roared coldly with a frantic and maddened look on the corner of his mouth. See you next time. As soon as the words fell, Qingfeng Mingxi's whole body suddenly burst out with the power of space, and his body turned into a wisp of black smoke, swept away towards the edge of the hall. Junior, absolutely can't let him go. The poisonous woman spit out a poisonous mist, and her breath became sluggish, so she could only say a word to Xiaoyan. Senior, don't worry. Zuner smiled sweetly at this. Brother Xiaoyan is so powerful, unless there are some powerful triple reincarnation level powerhouses, like Qingfeng Mingxi, it is just self-destruction. Where to run? Xiaoyan turned into a meteor at the same time, chasing after Qingfeng Mingxi. The glazed flames scattered along the way, actually evaporated some of the evil aura left in the entire hall, and a faint screaming and roaring sound continued. Overflow. Peefed. Qingfeng Mingxi's speed is extremely fast, even Xiaoyan today is inferior in speed, But just when the former was about to break through the edge of the hall and leave here, beams of flame beams burst out from the edge of the hall, carrying a sacred breath of repression rushed towards him. Not good. Qingfeng Mingzi's body froze suddenly, and then without any struggle, he was suppressed by several holy flame pillars. That is the power of the magic formation of the heavens. Are you still running? Xiaoyan Zaidu exerted layer upon layer of tightly fitting force to wrap Qingfeng Mingzi to suppress it, then tied it to the ground of the hall, smiling. Blast! Qingfeng Mingzi was also a decisive person. Seeing that all his retreats were blocked, his entire body swelled slightly, and the dark power continued to gather, which was a sign of self-destruction. Crack! With a sound, Qingfeng Mingzi's actions were directly resolved by Xiaoyan, and the majestic spiritual power made him unable to use any of his own power. This is another ability of spiritual power, which can slightly affect the enemy to mobilize the reincarnation power in the body, but only the strength gap is very small. It is said that the angel family has some kind of extremely terrifying power, which is enough to make people fight when they are fighting. Unable to mobilize internal power fighting skills and so on. Tell me what you know. About sin, about extraterritorial. Xiaoyan and Zuner were surrounded by Qingfeng Mingzi. They knew very little about the news from outside the territory, but it was undoubtedly what they needed the most right now. Since returning from the trip to the Wufu, Xiaoyan always felt that something was wrong. The Wufu is located outside the realm. Even with the help of the two demon kings, why can they enter and exit so easily? Also, even if the Lord of the Martial House is powerful, but standing in an extraterritorial space, why can it be preserved for a long time? Could it be that the powerhouses of the heretic god rank are just set up? Thinking about it, I'm terrified. HMPH, just a bunch of humble worms. Sooner or later, the world will be submerged in the long river of history, and the whole world is outside our territory. Qingfeng Mingzi suddenly laughed coldly. The laughter was extremely eerie and terrifying, making people shudder. Is there the protection of evil powers from outsiders? Xiaoyan's tyrannical soul power sensed a slight fluctuation in Qingfeng Mingzi's body, and immediately frowned. This level of fluctuation is undoubtedly caused by the evil god-level powerhouses of the evil race from outside the realm. If Xiaoyan rashly used his soul power to go deep into the soul realm of Qingfeng Mingzi to investigate his memory, once he was discovered by the evil god level, he would be more fortunate than fortunate. But Xiaoyan didn't want to give up the three major sinners in the crime, who were extremely close to the core of the outside world. Rescue me, I have a way. The poisonous woman in the distance opened her mouth slightly, and it seemed that there were some methods that were generally enough to pry open Qingfeng Mingzi's mouth. When Qingfeng Mingzi heard the words, the originally cold smile instantly solidified, because the poisonous woman really has this ability. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2306. Senior. Xiaoyan and Zuner walked gently and came to the center of the hall where the drug woman was imprisoned. Junior, these 6 chains imprison my power, you only need to smash them, and leave the rest to the old man. The last voice just now obviously attracted Xiaoyan and the two of them, so the poisonous woman made a slight voice. Brother Xiaoyan. When Zuner saw this, she couldn't help but hesitate, and looked at Xiaoyan with a slightly worried look. Whether it is the demon realm or the poison god palace, in the eyes of the human realm, they are both righteous and evil forces. At this time, they rashly untie the shackles of the poisonous woman. If something goes wrong, but the power of Qingfeng Mingzi in front of him is too strange. If the shackles of the poisonous woman are not lifted, I am afraid that the news of the investigation here will be empty. Do not worry. Xiaoyan nodded with a smile, and then his whole body ignited with thick flames, blasting away at the 6 chains. Whoa! Under Xiaoyan's control, the flame turned into a sharp blade, and it frantically wrapped around those jet-black chains. The power of holy flame surged out, instantly corroding this extremely terrifying chain that was infiltrated by evil forces. Without the power of the holy flame, I am afraid it will take a lot of work. Peefed. With a sound, the chain shattered, and the poisonous woman's body just slowly escaped. Although the strength of these 2 juniors is weak, they have holy flames, and they may have some origins with the girl I brought back. Forget it, let's not offend you. After being freed from the bondage, a green poisonous mist filled the poisonous woman's body, slowly recovering her origin. What is the strength of the triple reincarnation? Xiao Yan smiled and looked at the slightly gloomy poisonous woman in front of him. Once this guy made any changes, Xiao Yan would act without hesitation. Although the triple reincarnation level powerhouse is tyrannical, for Xiao Yan today, he is a formidable enemy, but it is not enough to kill him. My old man is one of the 6 poisonous women of the Poison God Palace, and the false name is Poison Soul Sun. Just after breaking free and regaining some vitality, the poisonous woman in front of her lifted her long evil hair, and then revealed the strange silhouette of a middle-aged woman, looking at Xiao Yan rather strangely. 6 poisonous women? Seeing this guy's inner thoughts fall, Xiao Yan became suspicious because of this title. It is said that in the Poison God Palace, there are several divisions. Each division has a clear job, and the poisonous women are a type of people who specialize in wandering the world. Their purpose is to find some people with poisonous bodies or good at using them. Poisonous seedlings, lure them into the womb. They are strong and powerful. Although they don't ask about the internal affairs of the Poison God Palace, they are also one of the symbols of the Poison God Palace. Zunar's beautiful eyes kept scanning the middle-aged woman in front of her, and she said vigilantly, "The power of toxins on her body is too tyrannical, and even if she is only middle-aged, her face and body are very different from ordinary people because of the practice of poisoning." Surging, looking rather scary. Since the senior is the messenger of the Poison God Palace, then the junior has something to ask. After being reminded by Zunar in such a detailed manner, Xiao Yan suddenly thought of something and hurriedly said, "You ask?" Poison Soul Ziyu said quietly, looking at Xiao Yan and Zunar at the same time. "I don't know if Senior has ever been to Do Chi continent." After thinking for a while, Xiao Yan decided to ask. Wang buzzing, "Who are you?" The poisonous Soul Sun was just about to go to Qingfeng Mingxi to explore his memory. Hearing Xiao Yan's voice behind him, his entire body trembled uncontrollably. "The reason why I was caught by the force of sin was because of the Do Chi continent. Or someone from the Do Chi continent." At that time, Do Chi continent seemed to have suffered an unprecedented crisis. By chance, he discovered a woman with a poisonous body, and together they rescued her from the air. At the moment when he made his move, there were 2 extremely terrifying fluctuations, and the strength of those 2 fluctuations was definitely much more tyrannical than his own. Little Dr. Immortal?" Xiao Yan exclaimed at the same time, and then his eyes locked on the poisonous soul in front of him. "Our people in the Poison God Palace are definitely not ruthless and unrighteous people. Since you saved me once, then the old man will naturally not retaliate. The rest, let's settle Qingfeng Meiji." Poison Soul Child has always been a little wary of Xiao Yan and Zunar, after thinking for a while. "Brother Xiao Yan, something is wrong with this guy." When Zunar heard this, she quietly used her soul power to pass it on to Xiao Yan. "Be careful, although this guy's strength is only at the triple reincarnation level, the toxins on his body are very strong." "Wait, this is... How could I forget Wu Lu Zilingen? Zunar, if the situation changes in a while, hold the antlers." The 2 secretly made some small movements, and after they were done, they approached Qingfeng Meizi together. Such exquisite antlers. The antlers fell into Zunar's arms one by one, and a gentle purifying power immediately filled the air. With this power, even those gloomy auras could not approach him. "Ula Gulu." Poison Soul Child walked to Qingfeng Mingxi, and before the latter could speak, a green poisonous mist emerged along with the ancient spell, surrounding Qingfeng Mingxi, and probed into the depths of his memory little by little. The Poison God Palace's unique poison technique uses the power of venom to invade the depths of the human body to obtain information. Although it is extremely sinister and ruthless, it has a miraculous effect on dealing with these extraterrestrial evil races. Boom! After a while, Qingfeng Mingxi became quiet, and there seemed to be a blurry picture gushing out above his head. It was his deepest memory, and the thing he was most afraid of. The picture became clear, and there was only a small segment of extremely blurry picture in the picture. In the picture, Qingfeng Mingxi and a man in white are standing on a cliff somewhere. "Qingfeng Mingxi, you take the poisonous woman to the demon world, impeach the poisonous palace, and prepare for the next general attack. I will participate in Daqiangong's plan all the time. After Daqiangong's plan is launched, I will personally launch the horn of the attack." "Yes, Your Majesty." The 2 only had such a simple conversation, and even for some reason, the head of the man in white was actually surrounded by a white mist, and he couldn't find his real face at all. That's the Demon King's execution order? Just when Xiao Yan felt a strange feeling, he found that behind the man in white, a box that looked like a trip to the Wufu Palace slowly appeared behind him. Ah! A tragic roar sounded, and suddenly countless blood-colored flames ignited on Qingfeng Mingzi's body, and it slowly melted his mind and body little by little. After the blink of an eye, the whole living person actually turned into blood in front of the three of them. Breath and soul power, etc. disappeared in an instant. Just when this strange thing happened, there were bursts of extremely incongruous voices from the outside world. Someone broke into the Sin Cave and strangled it. At the same time, the magical formations of the heavens outside the main hall also erupted with extremely dazzling power fluctuations, constantly fighting against some extremely powerful forces. Damn, it's another sinner. That guy's strength is definitely not what we can deal with at the moment. Let's go. The poisonous soul cast a vicious look at the void, and the green poisonous mist wrapped his palms to tear the void apart. Devil's Passage, enter. The gloomy voice fell, and the three of them immediately swept into it, heading towards the demon world, but that fleeting scene left an indelible impression in Xiao Yan's heart. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2307. The Devil World. This is a territory that has been constantly strife since ancient times. Here, the law of the jungle that eats the weak and the strong is reflected to the greatest extent. Even in the entire Great Thousand World, there is no realm that likes the weak and the strong like the devil. In the demon world, whether it is their own forces, beasts, or ordinary people, their bodies are contaminated with the demonic energy unique to the demon world. Although the demonic energy is different from the evil aura of the evil races outside the realm, its nature is disgusting, and it is also favored by many thousands of worlds. Exclusion of living beings. Therefore, it is rude to say that the people of the demon world are full of hostility towards outsiders in the great world, but there is no such prejudice for the powerful poisonous women who are responsible for wandering in the great world, such as the Poison God Palace. Time passed. Xiao Yan and the three of them came to the demon world smoothly after a day of running around. After the dark underworld master returned to his palm, there was no trace of it. It seems that those underworld worms were finally absorbed by him? Xiao Yan murmured slightly in his heart, and then the line of sight in front of him suddenly widened, and a dim light of dawn split open in the endless void passage, and the three of them immediately followed the trend and stepped into the demon world. The torn open mouth closed, and the thick gas that rushed toward the face was constantly afraid of hitting the bodies of Xiao Yan and the two of them. The strange aura turned out to be somewhat similar to the evil clan outside the realm. It's such a thick demonic energy. Xiao Yan and Zuner looked at each other, watching the real scarlet demonic energy in this world keep falling, and the holy flame in the body actually uncontrollably and automatically protected them as a sacred flame garment. If this viscous demonic energy is absorbed for a long time, I am afraid that the mind will be eroded by it, turning into a real demonic corpse. This is the devil world. The devil world is different from your human world. The holy flame in your body should be restrained, otherwise it will definitely cause a lot of unnecessary trouble. The power in Poison Po's body still looked like she was powerless, but she couldn't help but say something when she looked at Void and Xiao Yan in the demon realm. After thinking about it, he looked at the whole body, as if he was determining the position of everyone today. After all, the space channel could not accurately locate the transmission position, and the position where they entered the demon world was only random. Boom! The three of them stood on a huge sea surface, with bursts of scarlet demonic energy and turbulent waves constantly beating, with a terrifying momentum. Senior, can you talk about the woman named Little Dr. Immortal now? Standing above the void on the sea surface, Xiao Yan and Zuner surrounded the poisonous woman and the poisonous soul one after another, staring at this guy vigilantly. If it wasn't for Xiao Yan, who also caught a faint aura about Little Dr. Immortal from this guy, Xiao Yan would not be polite to her. You sure have something to do with that girl. Listening to Xiao Yan's words, the poisonous soul grinned and said, as for Zuner, she naturally knew Xiao Yan's character, whether it was Yun Yun, Xiao Yishen or Zi Yan, any of the three of them. Xiao Yan will never give up. However, now that his strength is as good as Xiao Yan's, the rest of Lu Zuner will accompany Xiao Yan on the journey. That girl has a poisonous body, and even cultivates poison pills. She is a rare talent in our Poison God Palace. At first, I rescued him from the lower planes from the air. I wanted to take him back to the Demon Palace, but on the way, I was killed by Sin, and then the two of us were separated. The memory of the place of separation is too vague, and I can't remember it either. Poison Soul's eyes flickered constantly, and then he said, his voice was also full of regret. What she said now is naturally the truth. After all, with her current strength, she cannot resist Xiao Yan and the two of them, and the top priority now is to find that girl. Damn! Xiao Yan roared viciously, and the clues that he had finally obtained were now gone again. This should be the Devil Burial River. If we can find the owner of the Devil Burial River, I'm afraid there is some hope. Because this demon-burying Lord Zhang has some kind of weird magic art that can be tracked and located. After thinking for a moment, Poison Soul said to Xiao Yan, no matter who she belongs to after finding that girl, she should find it first. Bang bang bang. When Xiao Yan heard this, he clenched his fists tightly, and a strong force was slowly transmitted, which actually caused the tumbling magic river below to become quiet, as if an extremely huge force was slowly condensing. Hee hee. Where did the human world ants have the guts to break into my demon world territory? The next moment, the water surface in the magic river below violently tumbled, and in an instant, several green blood lights burst out, quickly surrounding Xiao Yan and the three of them. It's the person who buried the demon river. Listening to his voice, the poisonous soul shouted in a stern voice. After speaking, he used his strength to try to take Xiao Yan and the two out of here. What they are looking for is the Lord of the Demon-Burying River. Once they are entangled by these difficult guys, it will probably take a lot of time. The poisonous soul was extremely fast, turning into a green glow and swept over the top of the Demon-Burying River in the blink of an eye, but it stopped moving abruptly after a while, then raised his head abruptly, staring at the *** demonic energy in front of him. The demonic energy slowly transformed into a number of powerful demons surrounded by Xiao Yan and the others. The demonic energy that filled his body was extremely uncomfortable. The general under the Lord of the Demon-Burying River, the Demon Axe General. Poison Soul's eyes kept changing, and he stared at this guy with fear. The peak of the double reincarnation stage? Xiao Yan nodded lightly, and then took a step forward. I only saw many powerful people in the burying demon river in front of me. The leader was a burly man. The strong muscles were filled with blood and magic energy. Nian looked at Xiao Yan indifferently. Human blood is really delicious. I haven't drank human blood for a long time. The magic axe stared at Xiao Yan and Zuner greedily. Sarcasm and greed were undisguised on his face. Everyone in the demon world basically cultivates magic arts, and human blood has a fatal attraction to them, especially the blood in the body of foreign humans. Boom! The magic axe was about to finish speaking, and the blood-colored magic axe on the palm of the hand rolled up, unexpectedly making a deafening thunderous sound, which made the poisonous soul who had the intention of retreating jump, and there was a deep worry in his eyes. The powerhouse of the burying demon river can rely on this natural danger to deal with the enemy. Even in the peak period of Poison Soul Child, it is impossible to say that it is possible to deal with this guy perfectly. I'll just say one thing. You guys, have you seen this woman? Xiao Yan brought it to hold Zuner's palm and stretched out his hand lightly. The phantom in the picture is graceful, and it is incomparably graceful. It is bathed in green poisonous mist, and it looks like a little medical fairy. Isn't this the woman that Lord Zhang caught? What is the origin of this person? At this moment, the mind of the Magic Axe General was filled with countless questions. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2308. HMPH. Trespassing into my demon-burying river area without authorization, and being so rude, I will kill you here. After thinking about it, the magic axe snorted coldly and said, anyway, the human beings in this mere first-level reincarnation are like children in their hands, and they can't be their opponents at all. If you tell the truth, I can let you go, otherwise. Xiao Yan's complexion became gloomy, and his voice was indifferent. At this time, there was no extra thought to waste time here. For every extra minute of time, the risk factor encountered by the little medical fairy increases by 1 point. Don't be ashamed. Today, I will let you experience the strength of my demon world powerhouse. Take me an axe. The burly magic axe will laugh loudly, and the magic axe on the palm of the hand suddenly rises with bursts of blood-colored magic energy, and his hands suddenly slash at Xiaoyan's place. The blood-colored axe pierced through this silent void, and swept away directly at Xiaoyan's key point. The offensive was fierce, and it was even more terrifying than the powerhouses in the human world. This guy, Xiaoyan's brows wrinkled, and then the core of the inner body rolled, the fire attribute power condensed into a fiery blade, and at the same time roared at the blood-colored axe. Even if Xiaoyan is now restraining the holy flame in his body, the fire attribute power in his body is much more tyrannical than that of ordinary powerhouses. Boom! Two terrifying attacks clashed on the river surface, setting off waves of scarlet waves, but a discerning person could naturally see that this was just a simple test by the two of them. What a tyrannical fire attribute power! The magic axe will murmur coldly, but in his heart he has doubts about Xiaoyan's first-level reincarnation strength. With such a terrifying fire attribute power, even some real double reincarnation levels cannot be compared. The two attacks suddenly disintegrated, and Xiaoyan's whole body was filled with the power of fiery red reincarnation, turning into a flame elf, and attacking the magic axe directly in the distance. The magic axe general is indeed a veteran who has experienced hundreds of battles. Looking at Xiaoyan's terrifying offensive, his eyes narrowed slightly, his feet were standing in the void, and his whole person was like a still mountain. This guy is ready to take Xiaoyan's attack hard. Peefed, a voice. The huge sound and the ability of flame explosions were transmitted from his skin, and pieces of flame scattered like lotus leaves. The power was extremely powerful. Wherever he went, the magic energy disappeared, and even the magic axe could smell a palpitating tinge. Weird fluctuations. The axe of demonic desire. His body quickly retreated after being beaten, and red ripples surged on the blood axe. Immediately, the whole body was swept by this strange wave, with a *** suffocating aura directly slashing towards Xiaoyan. Soul power? The blood axe seemed to contain other powers. It just came into contact with the flames around Xiaoyan, and it actually broke through the flame defense as quickly as it was in a no-man's land, attacking Xiaoyan's vital points. The power of the soul. Huge soul ripples scattered, and the magic axe was instantly shattered with a ferocious blow. Thunder, fire, the king of thunder and fire. After a while, Xiaoyan's expression was not shocked, and he muttered slowly. Circles of silver-gray thunder overflowed from his skin, accompanied by bursts of hot flames, which suddenly raised the temperature on the entire river surface. Seeing Xiaoyan dissolving his demonic axe so easily, the demonic axe swirled blood around his body, and the ** suffocating aura filled his body like a real liquid. At the same time, his body actually turned into a mist of blood. The blood mist filled the air, and after adding those ** liquids, the two actually started to spin after a while. A strange aura carried a heaven-shattering devilish energy, forming a special devilish aura that exceeded 100 meters above the demon-burying river. The strange and hair-raising aura actually caused countless stormy waves in the demon-burying river. The king of thunder and fire, exterminate. Xiaoyan just smiled slightly at this, and then raised his palm. The power of thunder and flames began to beat, flicker, and vaguely transformed into an extremely small spot of light, beating violently like a heart. Above the demon-burying river, an extremely terrifying battle is going on. Above the dim river surface, flames and thunder are dripping down like raindrops, while the blood mist and blood that the magic axe will incarnate in is a little bit attacked and purified. The terrifying sound of the explosion resounded throughout the world. The suffocating Qi and the thunderfire Hades contacted, and they stalemate for a moment, and then a thunder beam wrapped in flames directly penetrated the blood mist of the latter. Ah! The blood mist was broken, and a scream sounded, and the body of the magic axe general appeared, but at this time, large and small scars on the body, and even the aftermath of thunder and flames still stayed on it. Xiaoyan stood proudly in the sky. His whole body was wrapped in thunder and flames, looking down at the latter like an overlord who controlled the warehouse. He took a step forward and said to the latter, "Now, can you take us to see the Lord of the Devil Burial River? The magic axe below will be dripping with blood, twitching from time to time, and there are even shocking scars on the skin." Obviously, both the power of thunder and the power of fire have great restraint on demonic energy. Go! The magic axe nodded helplessly, and then turned into a light and shadow extremely unwillingly, and swept towards the demon-burying river below. "Follow." Xiao Yan said something to Zuner and Poison Soul behind him, and immediately disappeared here. On the way, Xiao Yan also had some basic knowledge of the demon realm. The demon realm is divided into 3 realms and 2 realms, under which there are countless regions and planes. Dark Realm, Netherworld Realm, Poison God Realm, Blood Moon Domain, 10,000 Demon Domain. The Dark Realm is the ruler of the Demon Palace, the overlord of the Demon Realm. It is said that there is a magic sword from the Demon Realm in its palace. However, this kind of thing is said to have been untouchable since ancient times. Once it can be recognized, it is the supreme ruler of the Demon Palace. And the Netherworld has the most disputes, and there are countless battles, big and small, and there is no force comparable to the Poison Palace and the Demon Palace to represent the Netherworld. As for the Poison God Realm, it is naturally dominated by the Poison God Palace. The location where Xiao Yan and others are now, the demon-burying river, is near the center of the Poison God Palace realm. Therefore, the strength of the forces that can stand here is almost all over the reincarnation level, so it is not surprising to encounter a magic axe general whose strength is comparable to the double reincarnation level. Blood Moon Region, Lord of Blood and Blood. 10,000 Demon Domain, 10,000 Demon Lord. At the same time below the demon-burying river, there are Scarlet Crystal Palaces. The palaces isolate the tumbling demonic energy in the demon-burying river, forming a paradise standing under the water. Master Zhang, it's an eventful time now. The woman you arrested a few days ago. In a majestic crystal palace, 2 figures were sitting slightly upright. One of them was wrapped in blood-red evil spirits, and the other was dressed in white and looked like a crepe. Humph. I have already threw it in the devil's nest of 10,000 snakes. If I can survive it, then it's good. If I can't, it can only mean that the poisonous woman in the Poison God Palace is blind. The man in white snorted coldly and then opened his mouth, his voice full of greed. Gulu, the devil's nest of 10,000 snakes? But Lord Zhang, why do you want to attack this woman? Her strength is not even that of a Do Di. Wouldn't that be too cruel? The blood fog figure on the side said hurriedly. What do you know? The master of the Poison God Palace has a strong poisonous body, and even the devils in the center of the demon world are terrified. Now the aura in this woman's body is somewhat similar to that one. Once I can induce her poisonous body, I can introduce her to the Poison God Palace. At that time, the entire Poison God Palace will be mine. Ha ha ha. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2309. Due to unknown reasons, Sogu suddenly couldn't find this site today. Please keep in mind the domain name of this site, Shuhage Quanpin, to find your way home. You can search for Fighting the Sky God of Yan Di in Baidu to find the latest chapter. The devil is full of energy, such a strange place. Just submerged under the buried demon river, sticky demonic energy continued to emerge from the water surface, and a very strange aura emerged in the vagueness. The invasion of demonic energy, otherwise, without the protection of tyrannical power, it is extremely easy to get lost in such a demonic sea area. Don't make a fool of me. Xiao Yan and the others easily caught up with the weak magic axe general, immediately followed behind him, and said coldly. Yes. The magic axe will grit his teeth and dare not come up with other thoughts, so he can only slowly lead the 3 to the depths of the buried devil river below. After half an hour, the void in front of everyone suddenly became distorted, and there were palaces with crystal-like beauty below. Outside the palaces, there was some kind of terrifying gloomy atmosphere. The devil is in the sky, be careful for a while. After Xiao Yan finished speaking in a low voice, the invisible soul force always felt that the situation here was not right. It is said that Lord Zhang is a powerful person who has reached the triple reincarnation level, and his strength is extremely terrifying. In addition to occupying the natural danger here, even if some famous triple reincarnation monsters see it, they can only hide away. The poisonous soul opened his mouth faintly, but his eyes kept staring at the huge palace below. Brother Xiao Yan. At this time, Zuner couldn't help but frown, apparently sensing a faint familiar aura from this unfamiliar area. They are all from the Do Chi continent. They are in the human world and are particularly sensitive to the human breath. After all, Human beings in the human world are completely different from the demon world, and this kind of breath is very easy to distinguish. Did you notice it too? Xiao Yan nodded. The palace below was full of shocking demonic energy, and there was a faint aura that Xiao Yan felt familiar with. That kind of breath is most likely the breath of the little medical fairy. Go! Glancing at each other, no longer hesitating, the three of them worked together to protect themselves with a thick vindictive barrier, and then approached the palace. Peeved. As for the magic axe general, taking advantage of the moment Xiao Yan and the others were talking, they turned into a wisp of magic energy and poured into the palace, escaping the restraints of Xiao Yan and the others. Crystal Palace Center. Lord, the magic axe will be dripping with blood, and he will not care about the scars on his body at all, and hurriedly walks out from a distance, his face panicked. Just after the fight with Xiao Yan, he knew that this guy was of extraordinary strength, and listened to his tone. It seemed that he was here specifically for the woman that Lord Zhang had captured before. Magic axe, what's the hurry? At this time, on a blue stone seat in the center of the hall, the man in white slowly smiled, and the smile was filled with a special magic that made people palpitate. Lord, someone is chasing after him. The purpose seems to be that woman. Subordinates have been defeated. It didn't even stop 3 moves. The magic axe opened his mouth with regret, although he didn't want to admit it, it was the truth. The fish and eyes are mixed in the demon-burying river. If they had not been sheltered by the Lord of the Devil-burying river, they would have already become dogs of the family. Therefore, before the Lord of the Devil-burying river has failed and fallen, these subordinates are naturally willing to follow. What? The man in white heard the words. The handle of the stone seat hanging from his arm instantly turned into powder under its enormous power, and the blue veins on his face burst out. Hee, don't look for it. The next moment, hot firefoxes burst out from the door of the main hall, and then an angry low roar emerged. Hand over that woman. Entering the Crystal Palace, although they encountered a lot of monsters along the way, most of them were just small shrimps around the 8-star fighting immortals, so they didn't stop Xiao Yan for a long time, and everyone relied on the magic axe to track down some of the remaining breath. The core of the hall. Poison God Palace. Poison, Soul Sun. So you're not dead yet. It seems that the efficiency of sin is nothing more than that. At this moment, looking at the menacing 3 men in front of him, the man in white didn't have any timidity. He slowly got up from the stone seat, and the red magic energy entwined out. The viscosity was enough to make everyone present really feel asphyxia. It turns out that you colluded and hunted me together. It's a pity that the old life is hard. The poisonous soul roared coldly, and the looming poisonous mist surged around, and the scene was once terrifying. Let me come. Xiao Yan stretched out his hand to stop the poisonous soul. Now the poisonous soul has not healed, and the strength of the man in front of him has reached the real triple reincarnation level. If there is any mistake, the result is not what Xiao Yan wants to see. Arrived. Tiny guy, the man in white sneered, and the sticky blood-colored bubbles kept shaking all over his body, and every shaking would bring a frightening fluctuation. Get back a little bit. Fire. Seeing this, Xiao Yan looked at the man in white with a solemn expression. The demonic energy and strength on his body were enough to make Xiao Yan really go all out, and Xiao Yan also wanted to try it out to see how tyrannical this demonic creature was. At the same time, a powerful and strange black air mass filled the head of the man in white. When this power appeared, the artifact bracelet on Zunar's palm buzzed. Since the end of Phoenix Island, the 5-legged golden crow has returned to inhabit the bracelet of the divine artifact. One is to restore his own strength, and the other is to hone Zunar. Fortunately, in the future, he will fully understand the reincarnation seal, so the divine artifact in a quiet state, the bracelet, which looks no different from ordinary bracelets, has released such a fiery wave now. Naturally there are some other recruits. Brother Xiao Yan, be careful, this guy's aura is very strange. Zunar made a sound, and after a while, the golden flame slowly overflowed, completely sealing the void of the entire hall. I don't have any spare time to accompany you to waste time here. Tell me the whereabouts of that woman. Otherwise, die. Xiao Yan was wrapped in flames, directly ignoring the churning power of this guy, walking towards him step by step. His tone was indifferent, like a decisive devil. Xiao Yan clearly only had the strength of the first-level reincarnation, and such a move actually moved the man in white, who was as arrogant as the third-level reincarnation. Dance of the Snake Demon. The next moment the man in white showed a very strange smile at the corners of his mouth. Countless demonic energy actually turned into demonic snakes under everyone's gaze, and they squirmed with their teeth and claws. Junior, this devil snake contains highly poisonous poison, be careful. At a glance, Poison Soul Child saw the slightly green mist in the mouth of the snake, and hurriedly shouted. Immortal Mighty Sparrow, a faint voice sounded, the bodies of the two overlapped instantly, and a battle started, but there was an extremely obscure and vague aura emerging from the dark, and the aura was extremely strange. That kind of breath, like a devil but not a devil, like a ghost but not a ghost, seems mysterious, but it did not show up easily, standing quietly in the void, as if waiting for something. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2325 of the Threefold Reincarnation. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.